Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is a live recording of a 50-minute full body flexibility practice. I just used my bolster today, find some space to move, and let's get started. We can start to find our way down. Just decide if you're gonna lay on something. Could be a couple blocks, a blanket rolled up, or pillows of some kind. Decide what your legs are gonna do. You could make a diamond shape, or you could do the opposite. Maybe bring the feet wide and let the knees tip together. And maybe turn the toes in slightly. And depending on what you're laying on, that may feel good on the low back. It might not feel great. So you can decide if it works for you. And then let's bring our arms out wide too. Turn your palms to face up. Let's take a slow, deep breath in and out. And do that again. Take a nice, slow, deep breath in and out. And one more time, just feel your body up as you breathe in. And then let it all go. So allowing yourself to slow down your day. We find some stillness throughout your body. Maybe some calmness in the mind. Just feeling the breath as we settle in. We are gonna stay here a little bit longer, but if you did want to move your legs or your arm, maybe letting your knees fall out wide now, making your diamond shape with your leg. Maybe reaching your arms out further or even above the head. And just settling right back in if you did decide to move. How are you feeling so far today? Stay here for another few breaths. Maybe breathe a little bit deeper again. Slow inhale. Slow exhale. Maybe one more full breath. Before you start to move, maybe wiggle your fingers, your toes. You could slide your arms back to your sides if you've got them wide or above your head. And start to move your legs back together, bringing your feet to the ground. And if you are ready to come off of whatever you're laying on, you can sit up, take it out. We'll just lay flat on our back, but you can hug your knees towards the chest if you'd like. Give the knees a squeeze or just a sway side to side. Just feeling your back against the ground. Just scan your body again and notice you're feeling some extra love anywhere today. And then we're just gonna send our legs out long. We'll move our feet over towards the left side. You might cross your right foot over top of the left. And then you can start to shimmy your shoulders over too for your banana pose, curving the body towards the left side. You can reach your arms above your head if you'd like. Maybe the left hand will hold the right wrist to create a bit extra length through the right arm. Just a gentle press of your right hip or glute down. Maybe feeling something through your leg. Your oblique. Maybe all the way into your arms, your shoulders. Now take another breath or two before you start to move again. And let's start with the upper body. Maybe your arms need to come back to the sides, and then you can kind of shimmy the shoulders back. And then your legs, you can bring them back to center too, just in a nice long line. Maybe you want to hug your knees in for a moment or wiggle your toes a little bit. Whenever you're ready to switch sides, start with your feet. Move them to the right. Maybe the left one is crossing over top. And maybe your shoulders will shimmy. Scooch a little bit towards the right side too. And finally, if you want to reach your arms up above, maybe the right hand will hold the left wrist this time. And a gentle press of the left glute down, just trying to level things up. And just breathe. Softening throughout your body while feeling a nice stretch. And just staying once again for another breath or two. And starting to bring the upper body back first. Take your time. Move the legs. Find a nice straight line with your body. Maybe wiggle your toes. You could start to bend your knees if you want to hug your knees all the way to your chest. You could do that too. Maybe give the knees a hug or sway side to side. And then we're gonna find our way over to tabletop. So onto our hands and knees. Now you can roll over, rock yourself forwards, but find your way into tabletop. And once you're there, maybe you'll give your hips a little bit of a sway, side to side. We're going to be bringing our left leg out. So it could be behind you or it could go out to the side. If it's going out to the side, maybe you go as far as being in line with your hip. Maybe your toes can turn to point forwards, a little press of the foot, the outer edge of the foot into the ground. Now you can stay on your hands. You could lower to your forearms or maybe onto a pillow of some kind. But just a gentle press of the foot into the ground. Feel the length through the leg. Maybe letting your upper body get a bit heavier. We're not going to stay here too long. So just a little extra push of your foot into the ground. And if you did lower down a bit, you can climb back up onto your hands and just bring your left knee back in, back to your tabletop. Maybe give the hips a little bit of a sway side to side. And then our right leg will be going back. You can keep it straight behind you, or you can bring it to the right side. Set up your foot, push into your foot, and feel the length through your leg. Maybe lowering down for a little extra, or to stay on your hand. And just a gentle press into the foot the whole time that we're here. If you did start to, or you did lower down onto your forearms, you can start to lift back up and onto your hands. And we can bring the left knee back into our tabletop and maybe take a little sway through the hips. Now, something just a little bit different. If you have something that can be a pillow for your head, I want you to bring it nice and close. You may or may not use it, but if you have something, bring it close. So from our tabletop, we're going to lower onto our right forearm. So onto the right forearm, just straight underneath the chest. And then our pillow, you might scooch it a little closer. The goal will be to try to rest the head on it if possible. Now you can keep some weight in the left hand, or the left hand will be coming to the low back. Now we're going to go a little bit further than this, but you could be staying here. If you are good here, you're going to stay. But if you want a little bit more, I want you to bring the left hand back down to the ground first. Take a peek at your right forearm. Now you might move it towards the left side a little bit more, maybe a little bit more, but still we're trying to find a place to rest the head, Now the left hand can stay on the ground for a little bit longer. The right hand can stay on the ground, or it can hold your shoulder, your left shoulder. And then the left hand could find the low back again. Now, if you can keep the weight of the head on the pillow or something, it's going to make this a lot nicer than holding it up. But just, it's weird. It's new, maybe. So a breath or two longer. And then you can start to bring, maybe it's the right hand down first, and then the left. And you can lift back up slowly, maybe to tabletop. Maybe you want to take a moment to sit back on the heels. You might have been feeling something through the neck, through the shoulders. Maybe that was more effort than you wanted, but now that we know where we're going, if you can have something to rest the head on, it is ideal. So we're just going to switch sides and start the exact same way. So the left arm can come down straight, just under the chest. Scoot your pillow in. Try to rest your head here. Maybe trying to lift the right hand to the low back again. Your palm can face up if you're bringing that right hand to the low back. And maybe this is a good place for you. If you want to go a little further, though, into that left arm, you might slide the forearm to the right side and then set your head up again first. Rest the head. Now, maybe the left hand will stay on the ground or lift to the shoulder. And then the right hand can lift too. And sometimes it's a little more relaxing once you know where you're going. But let's bring our hands back down. If anything's lifted, one hand and then the other hand, and then you can push yourself back up. You might end up in tabletop. You might take a seat back on the heels again. But just pause, maybe notice. Did you feel something through your neck, your shoulders, your spine? Any sort of shoulder roll that you'd like to add in. And we will be sitting down with our legs in front of us. So you can give your knees a hug or a squeeze once you're sitting down. Maybe take a sway side to side. And then we'll be bringing our left leg out to the side. So let's set up a half straddle. Should you have a pillow that you like to use, you can have it in front of you. Maybe point those left toes up. Bring the right leg in front of you. Can't talk today. Bring some length into the spine though, and maybe a sway of the shoulders. Starting to feel the inner leg, maybe for the second time today. You can stay seated tall though, or you could start to sway down, tip forwards. Maybe resting on something, or just have your hands on the ground in front of you. Just point your toes up. Feel the length through the leg, the inner leg. If you are folding forwards, you can start to lift back up. And help our legs come back together. Give the knees a squeeze. And just switching sides. Our right leg can come out. Pointing the toes up. Place the left leg somewhere comfy. Lengthening through the spine. Maybe a gentle sway of the shoulder. Or be still. But if it does feel good to fold a little, you can start to tip forwards. Maybe continue to point your toes up though. And notice how your inner leg feels. Folding forward. Slowly starting to lift back up. Legs can find their way back together. Give them a squeeze. Rock side to side. And then we're coming back onto our knees. Move your pillow off to the side. But once you're on your knees, we're going to be placing your right foot on top of the left. So in the arch of the left foot. And then you can start to send the hips back towards the heel. And maybe you will sit all the way back on the heels. Find that sweet spot where you're feeling a little foot massage. And keep your hands on the ground. You can stay tipping forwards, or you can sit all the way back on the heels and embrace that feeling. This is my fun side. Let your shoulders fall away from the ears. Maybe smile. Always smiles coming onto my face when we do stuff for the feet. Oh. The longer we stay, the easier it gets sometimes. Or not. Take another breath. And then you can start to come back. Come back. Uncross the feet. Give them a little shake and just switching sides. Left foot into the arch of the right. Find that sweet spot. Send the hips back. Maybe lift the hands, maybe not. How does this foot feel compared to the other one? Can you breathe softly here? Maybe with a smile on your face again. One more breath maybe on this side. And then you can bring your hands back to the ground, come off of the heels, give the legs, the ankles a shake, maybe even a little tap of the toes against the ground. We're going to stay on our knees and reach our arms forwards for our puppy dog stretch. If you want to lay on your pillow in any way, feel free to do so. But if you want to reach your arms forwards, keep the hands on the ground, or you could maybe bring the palms together and lift the hands up, pointing the fingers up above the heads. So you scoot your elbows forwards a touch more. You can feel the shoulders, the upper back, and let your chest, your head get heavy. You might stay for another breath or two. And then using an inhale to lift slowly. Bring your hands down. If they're lifted, you might end up in tabletop. Maybe sway a little bit. We are going to find our way onto our tummies though, so you can come down when you're ready. Once you get there, you might stack your palms, rest your forehead. Maybe take a gentle sway of the hips or just be completely still. We're gonna keep our right hand or arm as a pillow. Our left hand is gonna move down by our hip. Now your palm might be facing up, or maybe you can turn it to face down. Maybe you can walk your fingertips towards your foot, trying to drop the shoulder from the ear a bit. Now you can keep your hand outside of the leg, or you could tuck it underneath your quads, or maybe it's under your hip. I want you to try to take the bend out of your elbow as best you can. And use your leg, if you're resting it on top of your hand, to hold your hand in place. And then let your other arm be a pillow. Try to rest your head. Now, if you wanted a little extra for the neck while we're here, and you aren't already on your left cheek, you might try to rest on the left cheek. On your right arm, that is your pillow. And if you did happen to turn to the left cheek, you might turn back and then move your hand. If it's under your leg, slowly take it out. You might leave your arm at your side or bring the left hands underneath the forehead again. Just check in with your left arm, the wrist, the elbow. Were you getting a nice stretch there? Did you go a little too far? Not quite far enough. Our right hand is going to start to move towards the hip, though. The left hand, an arm can be the pillow. Your palm can be up. If you want some more, try to turn the palm down. Walk the fingertips towards your foot, lengthening the arm. And then maybe you're tucking your hand underneath your leg, maybe walking the fingertips down again. Use your arm as a pillow. Rest your head. You might end up turning to the right cheek this time if you want a little bit extra for the neck. But mostly relaxing throughout the body here. Just turn your head back if you did turn to the right cheek. And slowly take your hand out from under your leg if you tucked it under. And you can start to bring the right hand back under the forehead if you'd like. Just notice how your arms feel. Notice your belly against the ground. We're going to be turning over onto our backs. Option to place something underneath our hips. So you can come onto your back first, but maybe have something close by, just in case. As you lay on your back, though, you can keep your feet on the ground or hug your knees to the chest. Just feeling the entire length of your spine against the ground again. Notice any other sensations flowing throughout you. We're going to be lifting our legs up into the air. If you have a strap, you could hook your strap on your feet. If you've got something to slide underneath the hips so that it's helping you hold your feet up. So might be a little further down towards your glutes than you'd think, so that it's helping you hold the legs up. You can keep the knees bent or a little straighter. And your upper back might be feeling a little bit heavier now. Maybe you can let your feet, your ankle, calves, even the quads, maybe your legs can start to feel lighter. If you did lift the feet higher up into the air, start to lower them a bit, bending the knees, maybe hugging them towards the chest a touch. Or maybe your pillow is kind of encouraging them towards your chest without you actually having to do much. And if you can keep your feet floating and slide your pillow out, maybe just push it down so that your low back finds the ground, but maybe the feet are still lifted. You might have to hold the knees now to keep them towards the chest. You might add a gentle sway side to side. Might start to let the knees open up. Gently guide them wider. Let your big toes lightly touch. And then you can bring some space between them. Just let your ankles relax. Let the space between the knees and the feet be whatever is most effortless. Gentle press of the low back into the ground. Feeling the hip. And you can stay here holding onto your knees, or you could reach for the feet. You're going to shine the soles of your feet up above, and a gentle press of the low back into the ground. If you do have your feet right now in your hand, just slowly lower them again. If you can find the knees, or maybe you're still holding your feet, bringing the soles of the feet a little closer together, but they still might be floating here. We're going to bring our feet down. Now, if your pillow is on your mat, rest your feet on top of it. You might have to move it a little bit. See if you can bring the soles of the feet together in your diamond shape with your legs, with maybe the feet on the pillow. It might end up being most of the legs on the pillow, but you might try to slide the pillow down a little bit further so it's just the feet, and giving the knees a chance to get a little heavier. Maybe feeling the hips a little bit more, just a little bit different. Another moment here. Now your pillow might be in a place where it's going to end up under your knees as we send our legs long and our feet wide. But you might have to move it a little bit. And you might not want it. But start to make your way into Shavasana, the most relaxing place that you can place your body right now. Your legs, your arm, and everything else. Enjoy the stillness. Softness throughout the body. And slowly wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Wiggle anything else. And with a deeper breath in, you might be reaching your arms above your head. And bending your knees and rolling over to one side. You're ready to come up to a comfy seat. You can find your way there. And bring your hands together if you'd like. Awesome practice. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great rest of the day, a great weekend. Namaste.